Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in for another one of my videos. I'm just going to do a very short one this time, and it's regarding the Close to the Edge Super Deluxe reissue that's come out. As I've said before, I haven't bothered getting the Yes album or Fragile ones in this series, but felt that Close to the Edge, warranted because of its how shall we say, extreme brilliance, for want of better words. It warranted getting and adding to my collection. So yeah, there it is. Now, loads and loads of people have been doing reviews on this, and there's people far better qualified than me to talk about all the ins and outs about all the stuff that they've put on the discs. I suppose you could say it's fairly comprehensive. And that's the inside. As you can see, I've been listening to the disc, so one's already still in the player. That's the Blu-ray down there. So rather than waffling on in layman's terms about all the ins and outs and different bits of studio stuff and remixes and whatever else they've added on, I just want to cover a couple of aspects really. You get this book, nicely done with the beautiful original Close to the Edge painting, and they've got Close to the Edge writing up there. The inner spread is the lyrics, and then there's effectively 2 pages or 2 sides of writing by Sid Schwartz, whose writing style I like, very readable. But that's basically it. A couple of photos, black and white photos. That nice looking spread of the band, with the details of each thing that's in it. And there you can see that that's Steve from Topographic Tour, so that's Alan from kind of Relayer period. Don't think that's Chris from 72, I don't think he wore that then, might be wrong, but I always nitpick at these things. But you'd have thought photographs from them at Rainbow Theatre or from the 72 tour. And then the last page is basically credits, nobody's interested in that, and these rather indistinct kind of film clips, which look as if they are all probably from Rainbow, or from 72 anyway, but they're all very, very small and black and white. So it's a total of 12 pages. It's effectively 3 bits of paper stapled together, folded in half and double-sided print. So my comment on that is that Close to the Edge is not only considered to be Yes's world-beating album, not just best album, but stunningly brilliant in all aspects. It's them reaching a peak, considering particularly their age. So it's a monumental thing that they achieved. Okay, it's also considered to be in the whole sort of gamut of prog, the world of prog if you like. Nearly everybody would put that as their #1 best of. So we're talking about an album here that kind of surpasses pretty much everything else in terms of what people think of it, how it's revered, and I just think that's not it's not sufficient if the record company are going to do a super deluxe special version. Apart from the fact that it should have come out, 3 years ago. But so that's my gripe on the book. I mean, it's once you've read it, that's it. There's nothing else to look at. You don't go back. There's no fantastic things to sort of keep looking at. The second thing then, for me, yes, is all about live performance. Love the albums, yes, love the albums, the 70s stuff, fantastic albums, but for me it's how they managed to play this music live. So it was the live material on this set that was the main attraction for me, and probably without that I wouldn't have bought it. So we've got a complete show from Rainbow Theatre. I think they said it's the 16th of December. Yeah, although of course in the American way they put 12/16/1972. Asterisk to say previously unreleased. And supposedly the whole show from Rainbow Theatre. Except that it isn't, of course. So being Catrue, yeah, that sounds right. I've seen other people, that sounds probably right. Heart of the Sunrise, definitely not right. And You and I, it's definitely not right. So we've looked at these things, me and some others, and we've come to the conclusion that they are the versions from Yes Songs. So they're effectively American shows, and they've already been released on the Progeny set, and it's actually from Greensboro Coliseum, North Carolina, on the 12th of November 1972. So those were the sources that they used on Yes Songs, and it's definitely those performances that are on here. So it is not Rainbow 72. They've obviously made them sound slightly different in certain ways. I don't know whether they've used AI for the remixing, remastering or whatever, but the performances are definitely not Rainbow 72. So once you know that, and once you've realised that, it just makes you stop and wonder what it is that is missing from the people responsible for Yes's output, official output. Are they struggling because the tapes are damaged, or there was a problem with them and they've had to put something else in and they didn't want to tell us? Is it that? It could be that. It could be that. So is it then worse to sort of try and hide it, thinking most people won't notice it, won't be aware of it, won't care probably? Or would it be better to say these tracks here, due to tape flaws, have been replaced by these other recordings? Would it be better and more honest to do that? Well, it would definitely be more honest to do that. Would that then put people off from buying it? I think people want honesty. I think people just want honesty. If you're selling something and they're charging 100 quid for these things, tell us the truth and don't sell us something that isn't correct. And I'm sorry, it's a big bee in my bonnet all the time when these things aren't correct. I'm just as quick to criticise the bootleggers as I am the official labels. But it just frustrates me so much that they're probably not going to do another Super Deluxe Close to the Edge, are they? So here again we've got an issue, and it's the only thing really that I was looking forward to hearing. as far as the sound on the other tracks, assuming they are all rainbow tracks, very nice, very very listenable, certainly clinically clean, but still keeping atmosphere. Close to the Edge was very interesting to hear for the very first time, but it's full of pops and clicks, and I did wonder whether mine was just defective. I wondered whether it's my speakers, to be honest, first of all, but everybody else is talking about that as well, so that's obviously on the discs, and you would have thought that that could easily be removed. Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they say, well, this is imperfect and it's not affecting the performance, we're not sort of doing anything wrong there to change the actual sound of the performance, we're just getting that annoying click out of the way. And my reasoning there is because it takes time for somebody to sit down in a studio and do it, and I know it does because I've done it. You know, it's sometimes taken 3 hours to correctly declick a tiny few seconds of music, and you know, it's not easy. Or again, that's talking old school. These days, run it through a process, probably AI. Why is it there? But it's not horrendous. It's not horrendous. It's just slightly a slight observance, if you like. So anyway, quite pleased to have the set in many ways, and all the other discs with the bits and bobs stuff, and the Blu-ray stuff I've yet to even listen to or watch. So that will be interesting to have a look at. But I don't want to say any more other than yeah, just if anybody else has got comments regarding the live stuff that they've noticed, or maybe you disagree with what I'm saying and you reckon it's right and I'm wrong, but yeah, it's just a shame, and particularly the book. I mean, crikey, there must be hundreds of musicians who'd be willing to put their sort of viewpoint on how Close to the Edge affected them or influenced their playing or their songwriting, or how it changed, you know, the whole sort of world of rock music at the time, and how it's still revered. I mean, you'd love to read all these things, and they don't kind of think that we need to bother doing that. And of course, if you do a thicker book, then you've got to have slightly thicker packaging, and there you go. I think people are quite happy to pay another 50 quid or something to have a much thicker book, but that's just me, I suppose. So anyway, I'm just going to leave that there. So I've got a lot to get through yet in terms of playing the stuff, and I've got to try and find time for that. But and I haven't even looked at the vinyl yet. But again, the vinyl's not in any special sleeve; it's just in a plain inner, and not coloured vinyl. But then people tend to say black vinyl gives you the best sound quality. I'm not sure of that these days. So anyway, yeah, if I was doing this, it'd be significantly different. But I think what they do is they spend more time looking at the studio stuff and getting that worked on, and then I don't think they look that carefully at the live stuff. So if it's you know, if it is accidental and they sort of cocked up, then they're probably feeling quite embarrassed about it. But if it was done deliberately and we've been a bit misled by it, doesn't leave a nice taste in the mouth. Having said all that, it remains one of the most brilliant albums ever made by any band, and will forever be that way as far as I'm concerned. Bless Yes. And thank you, Yes, for doing that album. Okay, thanks for watching, see you again soon.